Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 10:48 a.m. on the 8th of December 2023. By the gods, the days are melting like butter. One just folding into another like water disappearing down a drain in a great reservoir of life somewhere. I'm not sure how hot it is outside, but I am sure. It just said 30 degrees. It's a little bit cooler than yesterday, and it's a little bit overcast. I've still got to go out and do some grocery shopping. I think I'll just buy just the bare minimum that I need to tide me over the weekend, because I get paid again on Tuesday, and I don't want to be bothered. But I'll have to, because I've got nothing to eat for tonight. So there is that. But yeah, it's just sheer apathy on my part. I'm feeling very good this morning. I not long got up, woken up by my bladder actually. My bladder is running my body now, nothing else. I'm just existing for my bladder alone. It's a bit annoying actually. But as I said, I got a good few solid hours sleep. I must have slept deeply because I slept very little the night before. So that was bothersome. But yeah, I had a good rest, and I feel this beautiful mantle of peace descending upon me, of peace and kind of, I can't put it into words, like a supernal, blissful kind of love just sitting just around me like a mantle around my auric field, and feeling a lot of love being sent to me. And I noticed since I posted up my little video of my cleaning lady and friend Rati playing with Charlie. Charlie was very fascinated with Rati actually. There were a lot of likes and comments from her friends and family, and they must find it delightful because I can actually feel the spiritual, peaceful, beautiful love being transmitted towards Charlie. But I can sense it, and the house is light and feeling of a high, beautiful vibration, almost like the music of the spheres, right? Maybe I'm psychotic from lack of sleep and health issues. Maybe I've entered a psychosis. I do get psychotic when I don't sleep for days and weeks at a time. But I'm feeling so good. It's astonishing how good I feel given how unwell I actually am in real terms, you know. Like I've been over-functioning for weeks, pushing, as I said, against all blockades around me, kicking them down one by one. And even going to the markets was an extreme sport, as Jared and I quickly found out. Oh dear goddess, the things we do to try and thrive in our sacred space. And but it's funny, but it's not funny because we didn't actually get anywhere fast. But anyway, we're trying, and all my friends are supporting me in my quest for true love and thriving and success and happiness. And it's here, people, it's here. Even though I don't actually have a partner yet, technically have a partner, it's here. The time has come, the war has said, to speak of many things, of sealing wax and sailing ships and cabbages and kings. And I've probably stuffed that up and got that transposed in order, as I do, messing up lyrics and poetry. But you feel my vibe, don't you, babies? You're feeling my vibe. Oh dear goddess. Anyway, I don't know what I'm so excited about since I'm on day 3. Yes, day 3 of my bladder diary, which is eminently boring. It's boring to have to measure your pee every time. But I've been through worse, medical testing in my day, which were infinitely more horrific, aka colonoscopies. That's certainly not boring. It's traumatic. So, well, for me it is anyway. But yeah, it's been quite interesting and illuminating seeing my bladder diary, seeing basically what's going on there. Although I'm not a doctor, so it'll be up to my doctor to discern all that. But it's looking a bit weird, people. It's a bit weird. But what can I say? My body has always been a magical, blessed, creative, life-affirming, stoic, life-sustaining thing, even in the face of my enemies. So, I have to trust in her inner gnosis of what she wants to survive on the planet. At the moment, it's a bit astonishing what she wants. But anyway, I'm going dancing tonight, as is my usual habit. I'm looking forward to it because I missed out last week because I was actually too ill and too wrung out after the ultrasound and had to go to the markets the next day. I knew that if I went dancing as well, I would not be getting out of bed to go to the markets, that's for sure. So I missed out 1 week. I wonder if anybody missed me. Do you think they missed me? They were like, I'm so glad that crazy bitch stayed away. Oh no, I'm not that bad, am I? But anyway, maybe someone will. Maybe one person will have missed me. And that's all right. Love is the law, people. I take my love where I can get it. Holy, respectful, honouring, and I've had my sexuality on the back burner for so many years that there's none of that kind of loving happening, and I'm actually kind of still not 100% certain. I'm ready to leap off the diving board, if that makes sense, but I'm kind of standing on the edge going, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? So yeah, I'm sure I'll be right, as I said, in the right time, in the right alignment, So, but yeah, I'm feeling really wonderful right now. I haven't got any makeup on and didn't even put lipstick on for you. I usually put a bit of lipstick on for you guys so that I don't look like a corpse, I'm not a corpse, but I'm a zombie. I'm a reanimated zombie. Anyway, that's enough out of that. We don't have a lot of readings today because, I don't know, descending into Christmas, I probably, decompensated and didn't have a lot to say. But there's a few little sweet things, and my usual repetitive ad nauseum spiritual musings and ramblings, which I don't know. But eventually I'll get there. I'll bounce off that groove and I'll move into the next groove of life, which hopefully will be getting older, gracefully, surrounded by people and a special someone who loves me. That's my fantasy, people. That's what I've been waiting for all my life. So there is that. Oh, I was thinking deeply this morning about my father-in-law, Harry Aarons, who's been coming up in my memories quite a bit, when I'm going on ad nauseum about my ex-husband, which is also unusual. I haven't thought about my ex-husband in 20 years. Like, I feel nothing for him. I have nothing but... I don't even really have that much contempt for him anymore, though I'm a bit of a ripped Band-Aid after all the reminders of the birthings and the viciousness. But I just feel just complete indifference, So it's odd that he's been manifesting in my thoughts and emotions in recent months. So it tells me, I'm probably on the downward spiral of my life and skirting. I don't think I'm dying as yet, please God. I've got a little bit more living to do, but it's not in my purview, people. But there seems to be a kind of a shadow puppet display of people from the past cycling, as they often do before they leave my life permanently, right? So I'm conscious of that it's kind of how the spirits and the gods heal me by just popping them up and having me look at them again and see if I feel exactly the same way or if there's been a shift in my consciousness. And usually I'm stubborn when I'm making my mind up about someone and they've done me a lot of damage. I don't usually change my opinions of them, but occasionally in life I have reached a point of, if not quite forgiveness, kind of a reconciliation in my own mind that they couldn't have ever been anything other than the monsters they were. Kind of a form of forgiveness, I guess, but not really. So anyway, thinking about my father-in-law, Harry Aarons, and how deeply he adored me. Well, I came into his life when I met my husband. I was 17. So I was fresh and nubile and still slim, by the way. The last time I was slim, with perky little B-cup breasts and a nice, waist and nice hips, and, I was quite slim. I still remember, I wore this beautiful vintage, it was vintage even back in 1980, when did I meet that bozo? 1982. And so the dress was actually from the 40s. This is probably why my father-in-law fell a bit madly in love with me too, right? Because I have a thing, my ex-boyfriend Courtney used to tease me how elderly men see me and fall in love with me. It's embarrassing. Often happens. I'll be out somewhere and some really old man go, anyway. And I used to go, oh, don't be like that, but it's actually true. So anyway, I had, when I met my father-in-law for the first time, was it the first time? I'd met him before as a 15-year-old girl. I fell off my horse and he ran across from his home where I was riding my horse. Didn't know who they were then, to rescue me, because I lay on the ground thinking I was dead or concussed or something. Anyway, I was perfectly fine, but I just lay there for a while and this old man comes to my assistance and he turned out in time to become my father-in-law. But anyway, I digress. I've got in a little bit of a spiral there. But anyway, I was wearing this beautiful dress from the 40s, double velvet, which came sort of over here and was sleeveless. Yeah, pretty much similar style to this, but a bit more low cut over my breasts. And then under the breast, was it under the breast or on the breast? Was a big satin bow, and big bow. And the dress was actually a tiny bit tight for me even then. Although I was slim, the dress was a tiny bit tight. So it sort of, gulped to my figure. I had a beautiful little figure at that time in life. As I say, the last time I had a beautiful figure. Oh, dear goddess. Well, I married a feeder, didn't I? Well, that's part of the problem. Also, I was desperately unhappy. So when you're desperately unhappy, you comfort feed. But anyway, and I had this mini, and it was a mini dress, which was, I don't usually wear, even to this day, I very rarely wear mini dresses because I'm short and I'm fat and you look ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, and I could get away with it in those days because I was still slim, right? Anyway, my husband's he wasn't my husband there. Wasn't even really, I guess we had started dating. I suppose he was my boyfriend. Anyway, he's kind of leering at me too with pride because he's got a hottie on his hands because I was looking a bit hot in those days. And he is, I don't even know how it came about that his father was there. Thinking about it, that must have been a bit of a setup too. We were standing at the front of my home because my parents' home, we had a butcher shop underneath and we lived upstairs, and next door was a grocer, and next door to that was fish and chip shop. No, the fish and chip shop was down a bit further. Anyway, it was a shopping strip at a bus terminus. That's where we lived. So maybe Harry had gone to the shop, gone to the local shop and just happened to run into us. But anyway, I'm dolled up to the nines in this double velvet mini dress from the 40s. No, it can't have been from the 40s because if it was a mini, it must have been from the 60s. And anyway, I looked fabulous, darling. And and when you're a little bit with a new man and you're excited, well, I didn't know that at 17, but you get very excited, people. especially, when you're young, you're a bit kind of blasé because you don't know that, might be a long time before you find someone that excites you at all, if ever. It's been a long time between that state of excitement for me. Oh, dear goddess. So anyway, so what happened was I'm a little bit titillated with the man I later married. Oh, dear goddess. I can't bear to think about it. I want to cry, but not tears of upset. Tears of fucking rage at what I cheated myself out of at 17, right? Unbeknownst to me, with all the sweet innocence of life and bad parenting from my malfeasant, perverted parents. So anyway, my father-in-law comes along and says, "Oh, hello, hi, Michael." I'm like, "Oh, hi, Dad," And he just turns and he looks at me, looks me up and down, which, Polish and German and European, probably Russians do it too. When they meet someone, there's a quick up, down, up, down. Well, the Germans do the up, down twice, but most other Europeans is a quick up, down, and it's like a millisecond of they've taken the measure of you and they've judged you instantly, whether you're any good or not, right? Based on a look and how you dress and how you hold yourself, how you stand and your level of dignity. And of course I'm standing there all dignified because I'm feeling like a queen, because I got a man who I thought was in love with me. Well, he really wasn't, was he, the pig? But anyway, or he might have been briefly. But anyway, his father just looks at me and goes, "Hello, who might you be," kind of thing. And Michael introduces me to him and he was smiling. And I just kind of looked at him and I said, "I've met you before, I know you from somewhere." And his father said, "Oh," in his Polish Yiddish accent, "Oh, do you?" He was so sweet with me. He really was sweet to me. I have to say that he was a darling. So I said, "Yes." I said, "I think you came to rescue me once when my horse threw me off." He went, "Oh." "That was some years ago." I said, "Yes, I was about 15. He went, "Oh, yes, I remember." And I said, "Yes, I thought I was dead." And he went, "But you're not dead. You're very much alive," looking at me. He had a great sense of humour, my father-in-law. So anyway, that was how we reconnected, right? Me looking like, at 17, a grande femme fatale way beyond my years, because I used to dress way beyond my years because my mother basically imprinted and trained me that way because she was a malfeasant, evil. I wasn't even allowed jeans until I was about 16. I rebelled and bought my first pair of jeans, which came in handy for horse riding, by the way. I had to ride horses wearing skirts. Oh, dear goddess. Thinking about it, I would have been wearing a skirt when I fell off my horse when my father-in-law met me. Yeah, if I was 15, because that's true. I didn't wear jeans till I was much older. Anyway, so I've had a very weird childhood and upbringing, as you can tell. And my adolescence was stolen from me because I married my first boyfriend, or got heavily involved with my first boyfriend, which should not have happened either because he was most unsuitable, really. And I mean, he was sweet in the beginning, but that didn't last very long, did it? It was fine till he signed the wedding certificate, the ketubah, and that's when things changed, as often happens to women. You think you're marrying some Prince Charming and then you sign yourself away and you fucking married Bluebeard. And they don't even wait very long to show their true colours either. It's disgusting. Anyway, so, but my father-in-law, I think he's my guardian angel. I think he's the reason why I was not allowed a partner all these years. I think he's the reason why men used to run away and scream, "I'm at grandma's house." No. Well, you are. But I think there's something heavily protective that blocked so many. Some of them were quite nice men, I think. Not all of them were creeps. I'm trying to remember. Okay, most of them were creeps, but there were a few in amongst them. There were a few, but they literally got terrified, ran out the door, running, kicking, and screaming. So this man that says he's interested in me says he's very strong and he's not faint-hearted and he doesn't scare easily. Well, I've done everything on my own power to scare him off and sabotage, because I know he watches my videos. So there's been a lot of sabotage. So if he's not scared yet, that's actually both alarming and incredible, because they're pretty easy to scare off when they're coming into my sexuality auric field, you know. They're all right if they just want to be mates and platonic and respect me, respect my body autonomy. But as soon as they want something else, they get fended off usually. So I'm not even sure what's happening. Maybe this is a post-COVID psychosis where I'm just wanting connection, I don't know. But this chappie came in before I got the COVID, so that can't be it. I'm trying to work it out. But my father-in-law of blessed memory, Harry Aarons, happy Hanukkah to you, Herschel. Not that I ever called him by his first name, ever. Not even when he was dying did I call him by his first name. His respect is everything. But anyway, Herschela, wherever you be, bring me my one, the one and only. Stop interfering in my love life. You're not my father-in-law anymore. You haven't been for 29 fucking years. And by the way, your son's a schmuck, and you knew it. That's why you paid off both my houses. Seriously, I think that's true. Because I was thinking about it when it came up in my memories about my nephew. My nephew told me, remember I said yesterday that bringing him the gefilte fish and the Black Forest cheesecake, yeah, was it a cheesecake or Black Forest cake, I said was a sound investment. They're much wealthier than me, by the way, so it was kind of odd that I wanted to spoil them so lavishly. But that would have been you, Herschel. That would have been you in the background of that. But anyway, it was a very worthwhile exercise in the respect that my nephew said to me. I said, I always wondered, you know, why it was that, you know, both houses were paid off. And all the hatred and enmity and viciousness and envy that came from, you know, Bill and Shirley towards me, and Bill and his wife Joanne, and Shirley and Jacques. They were so vicious. They thought, and my sister used to say it too, oh, you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth and you just get handed things. Well, no, I mean, yes. And when I was young, I was a lucky, fortunate person, and I was extremely blessed. 2 paid up houses, people. But it was a curse also because dead in-laws, one of which I was extremely fond of, and the ongoing grief, and married to a bastard. So it was a double-edged sword. So all their envy towards me was a projection of their own inadequacy and ugly deep soul ugliness, right? And they unleashed it all when I left my marriage, by the way. Absolutely vicious they were. Scum and trash is what they still are to this day. Shirley and Jacques and the other lot. But anyway, ding! Let it go, because they've got no role to play in my life and haven't for the last 29 years. But Harry insisted, my nephew told me. Harry insisted. He wrote it apparently into his will. And I said to him, is that even true, Mark? Because I never saw the will. Why would I? I'm not, not immediate family. I never saw that will. But Mark, I don't know if he was winding me up or if it's the truth. I suspect it's the truth, though. Said, no, he said Harry wrote it into his will that Uncle Michael's he had a little townhouse when I married him. So I came with nothing, literally nothing. A chair and my doll collection. for fuck's sake. I cherish that doll collection right up until a few years ago. I got rid of it, most of it. A chair. I came into that marriage with a chair, my doll collection, the clothes on my back, and most of which was second-hand anyway, because my mother only ever bought me second-hand clothes. Hats, lovely hats, handbags, shoes. I was like a fucking Barbie doll, wasn't I? I was kept like a Barbie doll and denied real love and my own wealth creation, by the way. I was just a fucking handbag, and it's degrading when you think about it. But anyway, I came with my hats, my clothes, my doll collection, my books. Of course, my books. I went nowhere without my books. I had an extensive library even as a young girl, as a teenager. What else did I come with? My jewellery, which none of it was of any great value because we'd had a massive burglary when I was 14, so all my most valuable stuff got stolen. So that's it. That's what I came with. And but my father-in-law insisted that little townhouse up in Brooklyn, Wellington, New Zealand, which is why I laugh that I go to Brooklyn Standard now, because it's like closing that chapter, or maybe not, opening another chapter. Close one chapter, open another chapter, start again, turn the page, carry on with your story, with your journey, with your dreaming, with your manifesting of your dreaming. Psychedelic dreamer. Anyway, my father-in-law insisted that house be paid off. Now, he had already died, but he had made it clear that it was to be paid for, no mortgage, because I had promised him grandchildren. I said, if I'm fertile, because I don't know these things, I said, but if I'm fertile, there will be grandchildren. I promise you, Harry. I kept my word to you too, up until recent years when we all threw our religion to the curb. You will have Jewish grandchildren. And that, by the way, was a god-awful fight, almost to my own death, to maintain that because of the viciousness and the slanders and the libels that occurred after we arrived here in 1988 and I joined the temple here, accusing me of being a Nazi, right? More bastardry than you can poke at. But I raised my kids Jewish and fought for my daughter to have her bat mitzvah, the first one, because that same shul tried to sabotage that. I kept my word to an elderly man from Poland who had escaped the Nazi German invasion of Poland because he left Poland in 1929, or was it 31? 31, my mother-in-law came out to New Zealand to marry him, 18 years of age. So they escaped the atrocity that happened in Poland. But I kept my word to Herschel Aronchik, Harry Aarons. I raised his grandchildren as Jews in the face of strangulations from Israeli men, in the face of slander in my own community, in the face of his own son's viciousness that went on for long after I separated. He kept that pressure on me and my children, the pig. In the face of everything, I kept my promise. And I still carry his family name, even though it has quite dark connections to me via his son. But you, Harry, you will no longer be the dibbock in my roof, my darling. you will let me have my one true love at long last, as was prophesied to me 30 years ago, by the way, when I'm 60. And the timelines might be a little bit out because I was also prophesied that I would have a hysterectomy when I was 50, and that happened when I was 52. So the timelines are a little bit overlapping. But anyway, I'm immersed in this big love today, and I can't help feeling it's coming also from Harry, because he knows I've realised yesterday who my guardian angel was, who came to me when I was being strangled the first time at Wynnum. Because I knew I was close to death, and I knew I thought, this is it, I'm gone. And something else just went whoosh around me. So maybe it was my angel, or maybe it was Harry who wanted me alive and probably came to protect me, if nothing else, but for the sake of his grandchildren having a mother alive. Because my last thought was, my poor children, they're going to be alone with predatory pedophiles and their enablers, and that pig who's so vicious, who's not fit to be a man, never mind a father. That's just my thoughts on that. And in that moment when I went, oh, my poor children, what will become of them? My attacker backed off. It was astonishing. So, and the same thing happened with when Terry Rosilio was strangling me, and the same thing happened when David Davidson was strangling me. In fact, David Davidson got such a fright, he sat down on the couch and burst into tears. And my words to him were, go ahead, finish the fucking job. Maybe this time you'll get lucky. That's how sick of loving monsters I was at that point in time, 35 years of age. Or was I still 34? I can't remember the exact date. I used to have the exact dates of those near-death experiences chiseled into my brain, but over time I've forgotten. I only remember the last few from 2015, 2019 now. It's amazing how your mind can heal you from trauma. But I remember the first date, the first strangulation was the 16th of January 1995. But for some odd reason I can't remember the exact dates of the other two, but there'll be a record of the Terry Rosilio one, because I actually went to the police and got photographs of the injuries, and they did do that much, but they never followed through. I've never had any protection from Queensland Police, ever. And my friend Lynn tells me now, oh, you know, my granddaughter's getting so much support and they're wonderful now, and I just want to vomit, because they left me with so much damage that I ended up on a disability pension for the rest of my life. Deeply traumatised and unable to function and hold down jobs and study, by the way. That's what they did to me. Anyway, my father-in-law is with me now in spirit. I feel his presence, and I feel that he is wanting me at long last to have the love that was always meant to be for me from time immemorial. He paid off that house. It was written into his will, and then the house we bought in Birkdale when we migrated here was also freehold because of that man. So I have no bad thoughts or regrets or antipathy to Harry Aaron's, except that his son turned out rotten, but, you know, that's not always a parent's fault. People have to take responsibility for their own actions, you know. And even as I'm speaking, my throat's kind of strange sensation down my throat, probably because I mentioned the strangulations. Actually, that will be it. But there's kind of a fluttering and an opening and a setting myself free of the monsters from the past, right? It's kind of a metamorphosis, the butterfly. And I've done this many times in the past, by the way. This is not new, this metamorphosing. It comes after a long period of ill health, usually of struggling or grief over an unrequited one that we had for many years. That was a long time re-innovating after that. And this time it's coming after the grief over my dog and the grief of watching my society crumble before my eyes. That's been a 4 years long grief. And the grief of actually grieving for my own self, thinking that I was going to die before I find true love, and that I was never going to manifest my own form of success, right? That's been a long withstanding grief, even as a young woman trying to hold down jobs, getting nowhere. I have been stymied and held back by the fates, and no doubt the Norns as well, and even the muses. The muses don't hold me back anymore, but they drive me to the point of breakdown. But that's always been that way because my nervous system is very sensitive after my childhood and my young adult experiences. So there is that. Anyway, I'm going to, we're 37 minutes in and I was expecting just to have a quick entree. Harry Aaron's is with me. I'm happy. I'm in love with life. Let's eat. It was going to be that brief, people. So I'm sorry, but that's the conclusion of that. I'm in love with life and I'm happy. I'm also stonkingly tired from lack of sleep and peeing all night, but I'm happy, which is unusual, so it's probably a psychosis. When things happen in the appointed time, there will be great joy in my life and in that person's life, because I'm all about being joyful and having love and being respected. And there is that. Here's me with Suki Lala, Crystal's female rabbit that we were robbed of by biosecurity when she went to the UK, which was ridiculous. Both animals were desexed, both animals were fully vaccinated. There's no reason why they couldn't just transfer the permit into my name. It was just fucking viciousness on their part, the dogs. But anyway, that's the government we live under. Draconian and idiotic, completely moronic. 8th of December 2022. The moon is already waning. Zenith was at 2:30 p.m. today, but the sky is so pretty and clear tonight. Looks like it's jumping, doesn't it? I don't know if you're getting a good view, but anyway. The moon is mine, people. The moon is mine. Mamati of Titania's realm got busy playing with fire this arvo. I seasoned 3 crucibles. The top one I re-seasoned as I had attempted to melt copper in it to no avail, so it burnt off most of its seasoning. Borax. That one is an epic fail, but I will keep it until I can afford a little Smith torch setup, and then I might try to melt copper again. The other 2 are not used yet. One will be for melting silver, and the other will be for gold. When I can afford gold, people. I did melt some gold though. I melt scraps of my own jewellery, and I turned it into a little love heart, and I sort of made a kind of a love heart shape out of it roughly, but I probably should melt it again into something else. But when you melt gold, you lose quite a lot of gold. It just evaporates, so you end up with less gold. So I thought, oh fuck it, I'll just leave it. In an emergency, I can use it to buy a loaf of bread. Daughter of Holocaust survivors. That's how you can tell I'm the real deal, people. There we go. Which reminds me I have to go down and buy milk and bread. At the very least, I need some milk and bread. Something nice for dinner. So, me, beware my wolf. I can barely contain her. Perhaps I should stop and let her have her way. She is wiser than I. Much, much wiser. And that was in response to this meme, which says, when I can get the bloody sidebar to work, when someone gets so loud with you that your spirit animal manifests. You were saying? It's funny, you know, because it's true. Eighth of December 2021, 2:35 p.m, home just in time before a massive storm hits. I felt in an altered state driving out of Greenslope's mall car park. Skies all ominous and black, but it's been a hellishly humid day, so I welcome the release of the rain. Looks like we're going to get rain today too, maybe. But that's okay. Got my lawnmower man supposedly coming today between 2 and 5. He was supposed to come yesterday between 2 and 4. I had to chase down my caseworker and say, look, he's normally really reliable, but what's happening? Because it's not like him to just not communicate or not show up. So hopefully he turns up today, but hopefully it's not bloody raining when he comes so he can do a proper job of it. Anyway, my main stress all around this house is the lawn mowing. It's been a constant source of problems for years now because I'm on a big block of land and it's quite hilly. So, pardon me. So that's been an epic fucking nightmare for years. Anyway, it's okay now because I have caseworkers and they actually make sure the job gets done. But by the gods, as I enumerated in one of my previous videos, all the lecherous lawnmower men that were creepy and it was vile. Anyway, here we go. 12:40 p.m, car is ready, off I go again. Thank God and my goddess Earth Angel for the air conditioning. Lathered in sweat with cool air blowing on me is heavenly. 11:26 a.m. By the gods, this has been arduous. My lungs are struggling like a whelping, wet nursing bitch of a dozen or so puppies. Too hot, and I never realise or accept how damaged my lungs are until I walk anywhere, for fuck's sake. It's taken me 50 minutes to get home. On the walk, I saw a dead ringtail possum, a dead bird. Oh, this was walking back from the mechanic, which was down the other end of Logan Road. And going past Cavendish Road State High School, the unmistakable stench of death, unseen animal in the bushes, and the stench of formaldehyde and psychic vampirism that is our education system. A stark reminder of all I have survived so far. God, it's astounding. I am like a little homing pigeon. I can't wait to get home. So prior to that, walking home from the mechanic on Logan Road, going up Abbottsley Street, I have decided to grab a coffee and a toasted sandwich to gift me fortitude for my walk. It's humid and downright sticky. I have never been to the Holland Park Sports Club before. I have lived in Holland Park for 18 and a half years. How quaint. I wonder what new discoveries I might meet on my walk. Nothing but dead animals. I am watching a toddler meandering around intrepidly. He has fallen a few times but gets back up and toddles on, his mother distracted by her phone. I sit here smiling. The kid is fine, but it's kind of delightful watching him navigate the grassy area. 8th of December 2020. I posted an old photograph of my beautiful boots that I still miss to this